Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing season 4, episode 13 of Ready to Love, which is the reunion part 1. If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. So we open up this reunion with the 4 couples that made it to the end. Nephew Tommy asks Liz and Jason, why did they decide to do Ready to Love? And Liz said it's time. And Jason said something along the lines of he keeps dating the same type of women, so it's time to do something different. Then we go into a package about KG or Chris, which we talked about him coming back, what he did differently this season versus on season 3. And then they kind of confirmed that he and Amber are dating, I guess exclusively.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they was going to ask if she's still practicing sperm retention. Ain't that what he called it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was semen retention, not sperm retention.
Semen sperm.
Yeah, I know. But they didn't. They didn't ask that.
Maybe they'll ask it in the second part.
Possibly.
And they said basically that communication is why it's working. I don't really know what to say about them as a couple. I wasn't expecting them. I was expecting them to make it to the end, but I wasn't expecting anybody to still be dating at the reunion.
I always expected people to still be dating. It's just the track record of the show is just not high.
That's why.
I mean, I honestly like KG and Amber together like that, man. I think they're a cute couple, and they seem to genuinely like each other. Is Liz and Jason still together? Because they didn't confirm that.
That's what the streets be saying.
Yeah.
The internet streets. So next up, we get a package on Kyra. Essentially, Kyra was playing chess and Monopoly, which was Alexis's words. And Alexis was saying that she felt played due to the AJ Kyra drama, which I get it. You saved him from going home.
And he sent her home.
And he sent you home. And people were arguing that Kyra wasn't looking for love, but she was just looking to make it to the ending of the show. I don't know what making it to the ending of the show. I mean, people have said, I don't know, because I've never seen a contract and I'm not going looking for one, that you get extra money for making it to the ending of the show. But I just don't get the point in doing a TV show that is quote unquote to find love, and yet you don't try to find love.
It's kind of interesting that she would make it all the way through, not to find love, but just to make it to the end.
Yeah, and at the ending, the guy that she chose her. So if she wanted to make it to the end, the true ending of the show, she could have, because the opportunity was there.
Right. I mean, she did make it to the end of the
show.
That's
what I'm saying. But to walk away as a couple. Because it's the stipulation to make it to episode 12, or it's a stipulation to walk away at the ending as a couple.
Right. That's why I was like, she didn't do that. Kyra also felt like she was targeted for some unknown reason.
I can see that. I know, especially with the way that all of the guys flipped and were like, I'm going home with Kyra if I had to choose. The only ones of those that truly made sense was, according to her, and that's because she's done an interview about it, was David and Jason. Mm-hmm. David was who she was entertaining on the show. And she said Jason was who she was entertaining on the show. And she and David had gone out on a lot of dates. They just weren't showed on TV, which feeds into the narrative of production tells the story that they want to tell, because they made it seem like it was between AJ and Jason the entire time, when in actuality, David was a contender at some point in time throughout this. So that's interesting to see, play out on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We did go after that Kyra situation ended. We got to see a behind the scenes of them in a makeshift green room, because I don't want to call it a green. It just seemed like it was just a large open space.
Yeah.
And basically they said that Ron was at the center of most of the drama this season, which it seemed to be that way.
Ron had loose lips.
Yeah, Ron was the one that threw out the Amber situation. They were saying that he threw Kyra under the bus for something. It was just a lot of Ron did this, Ron said that. And I watched one single live, and apparently it was the perfect live for me to watch. And on that live, Kyra was saying that Ron had tried to date her prior to this show, and she did not like Ron, so she steered completely clear of him throughout the entire show, which is interesting because at the beginning, when they talked about her knowing someone that was there, Ron didn't come up at all.
No.
It was just AJ.
Yeah.
Which we see how that went.
Right.
But it's interesting to watch all of that unfold. Then we got to see Tressa, who wasn't able to be there in person because she tested positive for COVID, and
she has to quarantine.
So I'm happy that we didn't have to go through a whole plus size women ordeal when, according to a lot of the guys, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
It was just there were other women that they liked more than Tressa. Not, I don't like Tressa because she's plus size.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it would have been beating a dead horse. So next up, we get to Christian and Khalil in the double elimination, which they talked about Khalil and his mean girl comment.
Yeah.
Like, what is your character flaw? Mean girls.
Right.
And we find out that he and Ida.
Well, I didn't see that comment at all. Him and Ida, I don't know what it was that Ida got mad at him about. I think it's because he didn't want to say that they were dating or something like that. But
it was like he didn't want to say it, but then he was trying to hold it for the show. And then that made her mad. And I was just like, but he just said it. So what's going on?
Right. Like, I didn't understand the frustration that they were having. But I was like, whatever it is, he's messing up at this current moment. So he was really messing up with her at that current moment. I really didn't have a lot for Khalil and Ida, though.
Let me see. What else did I write? Christian said that he got too comfortable once Khalil left. And I could see that happening as well, because you don't think that on the first day that there's going to be a double man elimination.
Right.
So he did say that he and Andrea, which was one of the first ladies, if I'm not mistaken, to get sent home.
She was the second one.
Yeah, Ida was first and then Andrea was second, which is interesting because 1 and 2.
Right.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
He and Andrea have been having phone conversations. They've been texting and calling.
They've been talking.
They've been texting, but they haven't been on any dates. So they put him on the spot to ask her out on a date. I didn't like when they did that last season with David and Alex. I don't like it again this season. It's just like, stay out my business. My business didn't make it to TV, so let's not do anything that's not still on TV.
I think they pointed out, it's like, hey man, ask her out on a date, man.
Yeah,
but leave it like that. Y'all should go out.
Yeah, y'all should give this thing a shot. Andrea, do you think you'd be interested in it? But like, yeah, I just...
kind of just put it out there or whatnot, because eventually they were. You kind of got to move at their own pace or whatnot, but I like it.
Yeah. And because Andrea and Christian seem to have, I don't want to say timid personalities, but they're not like up and in your face and aggressive.
Christian is a very quiet person.
Yeah. And Andrea seemed the exact same way. Like, they're not very up in your face and abrasive type personalities. So they could work with each other.
Right.
They would be able to be like out of the spotlight together and, you know, do whatever they gonna do. So I hope that things work out for the two of them.
For sure. I hope so.
I always hope that people can find love and not just try to look for fame when they do these type of shows.
Right, right.
So hopefully that finds them. So next up, we get the Ron package. And Nephew Tommy said in all the years that he's done this show, he has never had a man talk to a woman the way that Ron talked to Alexis. And it was in regards to the "I thought you were smarter than that" comment. I don't know what point Ron was trying to prove with that comment, because when he went on Kojo's channel, he said that he was going to self-eliminate, right? But then, I'm going to self-eliminate, but I'm going to throw all these grenades at you, including insulting your intelligence. Because even though he said he wasn't trying to insult her intelligence, I thought you were smarter than that. What else were you trying to convey?
Right.
And then the Amber gave me a kiss bombs, which we also found out that he was lying about that, because he said, what did I write down?
He meant from many to one.
Yes. From many dates to 2 dates to 1 date. And I'm like, Amber could not have been lying about that, because she stood firm on many.
Right.
2. And it got down to 1. And she was like, okay, that's more like it.
Right.
So,
I kind of disregarded what Ron was saying, or avoided what Ron was saying when he got to that point. It was just a lot of mess with Ron, man. I don't know what point he was trying to prove. And he had a real opportunity to actually make some connections with people. He just needed to be truthful about what his intentions were and what he was trying to do.
Right.
I just don't like it when people do that. And it was just so much confusion behind him, man. From him talking to Alexis, him talking about the stories about Alexis, like the story he brought up with AJ, leaving Alexis. That's happened later on in the
for like
show.
2 hours.
Yeah, and he had to go up there and tell her and stuff like that. It's just, you know, it's like, outside of the show, he may be a different person, but what we saw on this show and, you know, on the reunion, it's like, man, like, nah, you wouldn't have found nobody on this. Nobody on here should have talked to you.
And also, like, that's a reason why production also probably doesn't want these people hanging out with each other outside of filming, because you get all these extra dynamics that they can't make sense of to the viewing public.
Yeah.
And so it taints the story that they're trying to tell, even though they have a narrative, and it may not be the true, actual, and factual narrative, but it's a lot easier to control a narrative when you don't have all these outside moving parts. But one more thing that we learned during the sit down with Ron was that he introduced Chrysanthemum to his mom.
Yeah. That's where the confusion came from with Chris and Alexis. Because you don't introduce people to your mama.
I did, but
I'm just saying, like, that was the whole thing. They were saying, like, you don't introduce people to your mama if you're not, you know, trying to move forward with a person.
Not at that age, I don't think. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, and it seemed like it hit a dead end with Chrysanthemum once the filming stopped. It hit a dead end with Alexis once the filming stopped, and you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody hates Ron. Ron's the new villain. It was Kyra, now it's Ron.
Now it's Ron.
So next up, we get to the men being vulnerable package where Jason cries.
Jason and Joel cry.
Yeah, Jason and Joel. I was about to get to the Joel thing, but they were saying basically that even if we don't find a woman, we can find brotherhood, which then led us to the freaking frack situation. And Stacey felt like it was a double standard because the men were applauded for finding brotherhood, but it was frowned upon for the ladies to find sisterhood. And
what I got where she was trying to go with that, but the issue with, or the difference between the brotherhood that these guys had and the freaking frack thing that they had was they were like shown together all the time. It's like, if I date you, I got to date her too because y'all talk so much together. You're a package deal. Yeah, you're a package. But with the fellas, it was like, yeah, they going to talk to each other about who they date, but you would never know that they, it's them.
Because now that we're on the other side of this show, it seemed that Kyra and Vernisha hung out a lot.
Yeah.
But we didn't ever see that dynamic on camera outside of this reunion when Vernisha was talking to Kyra in the hallway.
Yeah. It's like, man, they freaking frack, and I hate to call them that, but
Stacey and Chris.
They were just so in your face about liking my friend. And we've all been put in a situation where the friend comes up to try to hook you up with the chick and it's too much and she's doing too much. They both were doing that together. And yeah, no dude wants to, be in that situation like that.
I don't think I've ever been in a freaking frack situation with a friend. I mean, okay, let me not say that. It's never been a situation where we were both single.
Yeah. See, they was trying to be the wingman to each other, but it like they failed miserably at being a wingman.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I've been the wing woman. However, being the wing woman, I was the person who wasn't trying to date anybody.
Yeah.
Or my dude is over there. Yeah. So he's not really concerned about me talking to you because he know I don't want you. I'm trying to hook my friend up with you. So it just comes off a little different.
Right. It was just, and the double standard. And I wanted to say this too, man. Like, I understood the brotherhood because you don't get an opportunity to do that a lot.
You like bromances.
I do. Like, you have to be in one. Like, have seen a setting to understand it because it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
And you don't see it a lot.
I see it.
And that was the thing. You silly, man. And that was the thing, man. So I don't think it was a double standard. I just think the way Stacey and Chrysanthemum worked together backfired and stuff. And they're dating. Like, Chrysanthemum is
dating several men.
Is dating several, but Stacey is actually, I guess, exclusively dating someone. So,
and her dude knows Chris.
Because
they still freaking frack.
Yep. They did make the statement that they wasn't dating each other. That was funny.
And every time it was like nobody was going there.
I thought it.
I did not.
I thought it for a second. I was like, they could.
I didn't go there at all in my mind. So last but not least, we get to the love triangle with Alexis, AJ, and Kyra. And they started out discussing when AJ kissed Alexis and how she thought that Kyra was out of the picture because when he kissed her, he said, "I am in pursuit of you."
That's just game, man. AJ was playing a game at that point.
I was like, "I'm in pursuit of you." I have never heard a man say those words.
Never used it. I think AJ was just playing a game with Alexis, man. He liked her, but he liked Kyra more. That's all that came down to,
Kyra was the one that got away. And I'm always going to choose the one that got away over the one that I just met because the one that got away is history.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what I feel like he's thinking. So they did get into, as you mentioned earlier, the discussion of why Ron said that AJ treated Alexis badly. I wouldn't necessarily say that that was bad, but I also think that Alexis was crazy for sitting there for 2 hours waiting on somebody to come upstairs and talk to her. You would have maybe had me for 20 minutes, and that would be because I lost track of time doing something else, which is very easy for me to do with my phone in my hand. Yeah. But 2 hours, I'm not losing track of that type of time in somebody else's house.
Nah, I'm finna go home.
Exactly. Alexis said that her feelings were hurt when AJ reneged on Kyra's elimination. Essentially, you know, I chose you. I thought we were choosing each other. And then next thing I know, you choosing somebody else. Kyra told us that she was all in on Jason until it went to a dead end where he decided to choose Liz. Apparently that made Jason frown up. And I was like, but is that not the truth?
That's definitely the truth.
He may not have felt like she was all in, but everything that we saw on TV was Kyra was choosing Jason and AJ was I wonder where this will go. Yeah. But it wasn't her choosing him. It was, I wonder.
Yeah. I didn't know. Like that whole part was confusing to me when it came to Jason and Kyra before, the show ended. Like you kind of saw where Jason was focusing a lot more on Liz versus Kyra, but it was like Kyra was still in between. Yeah. And that could be because of production, but I don't know what Jason was looking for and what Kyra was trying to portray to him. When it was like, yeah, I'm leaning more towards Jason than AJ, and I don't know what it actually looked like.
She never said those words to Jason. I guess that's where his issue lied. And she never said, I'm leaning 60-40, 60 towards you, or whatever the percentage is. She never gave that type of confirmation to him for what she thought was going to happen, or like what her true intentions were. But everything said, I'm leaning your way as far as what we saw through the lens of the camera. But then when you take everything away, Jason also looked like he was caught up and confused, because when he talked to Kyra, if I'm all in with Liz, I'm not asking you, well, what do you want? No. Can you make a decision? Because I don't care what your decision is if I'm all in with somebody else. Not to say that it's like the seriousness of marriage or anything, but if a man came to me and was like, I'm trying to pursue you, but I am married to you, why am I entertaining this? I've already made my choice. Right. We have nothing to talk about.
Well, I think the biggest thing was the choice hadn't been made yet, or officially. Like at that point, they still can, do some things. So it's.
But the lie he told Liz was that his choice had been made. Right. And it was a lie.
But that was after the fact.
Right. But then he came back and was like, he told Liz another lie to cover up the lie. And it was like, but you weren't.
He was saying what he needed to say to keep peace for him and with his decision. Like he was standing strong in his decision at that point, which was a lie. I give it to you on that. But I guess what I'm trying to figure out with Jason and Kyra was if Jason was unsure about which way he wanted to go. What is it that Kyra could have done to lean him towards her or lean him towards Liz? Because the thing was, he chose a happiness versus unsure about something. Like, I know I'm happy with Liz, and I know Liz is choosing me because Jason was outside of Joel and Chris. Jason was in a win-win situation. And I think
Yeah.
For me, Liz was the safer choice for him.
Because Liz had nobody else.
Liz wasn't competing with he wasn't competing with
For
nobody
Liz.
for Liz. It was him and Liz.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what helped him choose Liz, or it seems that would have helped him choose Liz, because that's all. The competition, like, if I don't have to compete for it, I won't. And not knowing where you are, I'm gonna just fall back because I'm happy here. We're enjoying each other's company here, you know. And so that's why I was thinking more so with the Jason, Liz, and Kyra situation. That's how I think Jason, or let me rephrase it, that's how I would have come up with my decision. Is that, oh, she's still playing games. I'm over here with her, and I know she's here for me. And I like her too. I'm enjoying her too. So
Jason was honestly in a situation of, I'm not gonna go home. One of these is gonna see me through to the end.
Right.
Let me choose the one that nobody else is checking for, because AJ and Liz not gonna work, because Liz is not having sex. AJ is like, nah. Bernicia had Joel sold up. Amber would checking for Jason at all. At least not that we saw.
Yeah.
So it's like Alexis, Kyra, Liz.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And the chemistry was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With Liz, the chemistry was there with Kyra. And, you know, because Liz started to choose Jason like, all right, well, let's see what happens over here. Kyra's still playing this game. She ain't chose me yet, so okay.
And I guess I see it from Kyra's standpoint. It's not a game if my goal is not to win, because what do I win at the end?
Yeah.
But my goal is to be in a happy, healthy relationship. Because you are lying to women, you will lie to me. So why do I choose you?
Yeah.
And that really could be, like, people are looking at like, Kyra played the game, Kyra played the game. Kyra played the same game that Jason was playing. Jason just lied, and she wasn't going to take the liar, because she at least knows what she's getting with AJ. She don't know how many more times you're going to lie to her as Jason.
Yeah. I don't know.
So let's see, what's the last thing I wrote? We did talk about Kyra and AJ at the ending. They, of course, didn't leave as a couple, but they did agree that they were going to continue to date. Kyra said she had a 2-week trip planned out of the country. She said she talked to AJ every single day while she was gone on this trip. When she gets back, she finds out that Alexis and AJ are dating.
They were kissing.
Kissing.
She got the pictures.
I wanted to see the picture, because I'm like, did y'all take a picture like lip to lip? Like, what we looking at?
You be trying to think to yourself like, AJ, what's wrong with you, man? Like, you obviously know this girl. Like, you know if you dating a person. You know what I'm saying? You know if you're dating a person, and you know if y'all just talking, and you can go talk to this person, that person, this person. And you, like, of all people, why Alexis? When you said that you basically wanted Kyra over Alexis, you go on this date, you called her and told her happy birthday, and you wanted to take her out and stuff like that. Like, what are you trying to do at that point? Because you know that you've been talking to Kyra. And you know what you've been talking to Kyra about. We don't know what y'all been talking about.
But it seems as though he's been talking to Kyra about something.
Right. To keep her talking.
Look, other than how's your trip?
Right. To keep her talking to him.
Right.
You know, so I just, like, at that point, I was like, what is he doing?
So we leave off at the end of the episode with the cliffhanger of, does Kyra want to continue dating AJ or not? What you think?
Yeah, she does. She does.
It's so difficult because everybody is single. So I can't be mad at you for dating someone. But in these circumstances, we're all friendly with each other. So let me know something.
Yeah.
Like you and Alexis are dating? Cool. Okay. I can't say anything about that. But when you don't let me know, that's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
Anywho, you got anything else for this episode?
Nah, that's it.
I feel like a lot happened, but really nothing happened.
Nothing, absolutely nothing
The
happened.
only things that we found out was about the people that are dating behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Which was apparently AJ and Alexis, Ida and Khalil, Andrea and Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You think Vernisha and Joel are still together?
I hope so. I hope so. I don't think so from the previews, but I hope so.
But the previews can sway.
Yeah, I know it, but still though.
And then Jason and Liz.
Yeah, I think they're still together.
I was talking to my mom about them, and my mom was like, as long as Jason's still falling all out over her because he can't believe that's the woman that he ended up with, Liz is going to still be there. And unless he finds somebody else that want him more than Liz, he's still going to be there. I was like, yep, I agree. She was like, he just real giddy over Liz. I was like, because that's not a woman that he thought was in his league.
Right. It happens, man.
Yeah.
It definitely happens, man. So.
Yeah, well. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell, comment down below, let us know what you guys thought of this reunion episode. And also, if it's not already up later on today, our review of Put a Ring on It episode 2 will also be up. So be sure to check that out as well.
Yep.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.